Peter, the relationship between the cars out on there, which are in the main investments, and what you guys do for wine, very close relationship.
Yeah, completely. And that's really the reason that we are here, because the correlation between classic cars that we're seeing outside today and ourselves, which deal in the top 30 chateaus in the world, is really,
the
really
Philosopher 2003 stuff.
This is the problem you get with us.
What's this he's serving? Is this an investment, or is this just quaffable?
This is for you and me to drink, Gary.
Oh, fine. Okay,
and the important thing about that is that we invest to be able to drink the wines that we're going to enjoy. So I've drunk for free since 2000. I invested in the 2000 vintage. My palate is not good enough. I'm not going to see that wine, but what I do is I invest it, I hold it, I then sell it, and then it allows me to drink something like this, which is very nice. It's red.
Nice. Yeah, that's red wine. I can tell you that's red wine. That's very nice. I mean, what would I tell the difference between that and another, something from the supermarket? If I'm honest.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think one of the things that your viewers should really know is the value from £10 to £20 to £30 is absolutely enormous, because the amount of tax that you pay on a £7 bottle of wine is so great that actually you're getting something that is relatively cheaper than water. So everything after that, you're adding value to the wine you're tasting. So even when you're drinking at home, go for something over £10, you'll absolutely see the difference.
The weird thing is, and I don't, I'm sure you've got a very sound business, but for me, I still can't quite get my head around. I give you a large lump of money, you invest it in some wine, I never get to drink the wine. It sounds criminal to me.
Or see the wine, in fact. Because I think the important thing is that the wine has to be stored in climate-controlled, bonded warehouses. The real key is to understand what the provenance, and the provenance means that you know where that case of wine has been. If that case of wine has been in an airport in Nigeria, for instance, it's worthless. So where it's come from and where you can track it back to is really, really important. That's stage one. Stage two then is ensuring that you're buying the actual case of wine that is going to go up in value. And the simple mathematics of it is that generally speaking they make 13,000 cases of wine per chateau of the ones that we deal in per annum, sometimes less. And I think the real key here is that when people start drinking it, it becomes less and less available, and therefore the price starts moving forward. It's a really simple mathematical equation, and it works, and it's outperformed gold, it's outperformed the FTSE, it's outperformed the DAX property since records began. So it really is something that is really, really enjoyable to invest in. That said, you've got to understand where the provenance is, and you need to come to a specialist like Vin-X to make sure that you don't get caught in it.
So if I'm going to give my credit card over to Vin-X, what am I going to get for my money, and how much is it going to cost me to give you, so to speak?
Well, the great thing about Vin-X is that we set it up 7 years ago, because people like Alex Ferguson, Andrew Webber, people like that have always invested in wine because it's always been a sound investment. And one thing that I've been trying to do is that I stumbled across it by chance, really, and I wanted to make that available to you, Gary, and to me, and to actually understand more about it. So everything we do is about education, to make sure that we are all enjoying what we're doing. And what's better than being at a dinner party, instead of talking about a unit trust or a share, talking about the wine you've got. It's much nicer, and it's with all the tasting notes that we give about it, it's really, really interesting thing to do.
Okay, so I ring you and I say I've got a few pounds to spend. I want you to invest that money. You will essentially, just like stocks and shares, you'll go away and find something. Do I assume as well, depending on my budget, will depend upon what you buy?
Yes, well, obviously, budget. I mean, what we are dealing with generally is people start off with about £10,000, and obviously upwards. I mean, we have people that have invested over millions of pounds in fine wine and with extremely large collections. The key to us is that we analyse it. So you would say to us as a specialist, tell me where is the best place to put my money, and then we make suggestions to you. You go ahead and then we store it for you, we insure it for you, because the last thing you want it to do is to go off, so we actually insure it as well. And at the end of the day, and it's not a short-term investment, I must make that clear, it's something that has got to be longer than 3 years, most probably 5 years, but it's something you can actually put away. I mean, it's something so enjoyable to put away and add to your collection. One thing I will say to you, Gary, is that once you give me the first £5,000, you'll keep on doing it because you'll understand it by then and you'll get to realise it. And the repeat business that we have at Vin-X is absolutely critical to our whole business plan.
Okay. So let me just get it clear as well. With this wine, we've opened the bottle. Therefore, any value it had in it has now just disappeared. But we don't care because that wasn't going to be. That was never an investment to start with. That was just so that we can drink it.
Well, you told me you were thirsty. That's the only reason that's the only reason we opened it. And I'm just going to drink this.
Can I just say your man is quite slow at serving that second glass? I just want to point that out, if you don't mind. Is he an employee? I mean.
Well, the interesting thing about people in the wine industry, and I'm a city guy. I'm not a wino. Is that they are very flamboyant people.
Wino. That is encouraging. Right. Okay. Let's see.
Well, let's make a cheers to a great race day. Chateau Impney race day.
Thank you, chef.
Pleasure.
Or wino, or whatever.
Wino is quite simple and quite clear.
So clearly this is a wine from the left bank of Bordeaux, right in the north. So the Gironde comes down, it's in the top north corner. We wouldn't class this as an investment grade wine. What we would do though is class as an extremely good, strong drinking wine. And what we've done for this weekend is bring some really strong drinking wines for people to enjoy. Give them a bit of taste of what about Bordeaux. Because generally people, when they say, oh, I'll have a Bordeaux or I'll have a Saint-Julien, they don't actually know what they want to do, and it's, as I said, education. So today what we're doing is putting on a few wine tastings with our wino, and we're going to sort of educate and just enjoy the racing and enjoy some wine at the same time.